Welcome back to the Wholesome Lending Group podcast. My name is Austin.
Suzy.
And this is part 2 of what we've learned shopping for $1 million house. Spoiler, we got the house. We got the house closed. The house is over. It's 1.1 and some change. Southern California. It's exciting. Here's some pictures. And so what we wanted to do is continue to talk about what we experienced, our process, things that we've learned, things we do differently, things like that. And so this is a part 2 of the first video. If you haven't seen the first video, click the card or click the video in the description below. So where we left off in that previous video is we were talking about the underwriting process. We had just gotten started with underwriting, and little did we know we were in for a ride. Underwriting is and I mean, most people, if you've already purchased a home, this is our first purchase. You're probably familiar to this. This is new for us. But yeah, where do you want to start in this experience, in this recap?
Let's start with just what is underwriting? Like, who are they?
Yeah. So underwriting, it's and correct me if I'm wrong, it's the department inside of the lending institution. For this, in this case, we were our loan wasn't directly with a bank; it was with a broker. Technically,
No,
a lender.
So the lender was Home Express, and they lend from their own money. So they're not brokering.
Yes.
They have their own money. They do their own underwriting, and so obviously underwriting is a department that makes sure that yes, this person is legitimate. They can actually pay the bank back. So they're going to ask for every single type of document and ask it again in a week later to make sure that, yes, these people have money. They will continue to have money so they cannot default. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much in summary of, what underwriting is.
Yeah. So without going into all the crazy details, there are some things that we want to highlight, but without going into all give me the full play-by-play. To catch you up, just in case you didn't see the first video, this is our first purchase, but we didn't qualify for FHA or any other first-time home buyer programs because we were applying through our business. We had non-QM mortgage. Just means it was
bank statements.
Yeah, it was a bank statement loan. Mm-hmm. So it was a non-qualified mortgage, and so that meant the interest rate's a little bit higher. There's a little less trust, and we need to show. But the cool part about this is that, we only pay ourselves very little from our business, but our business bank statements as well allowed us to be approved. And so that's really cool if you're a business owner to know that you don't need to have strong W-2s per se. You do if you want to go into the
FHA conventional 3.5% down.
Yeah, if you want a QM type mortgage product. But the pro of that, we live in California, the double tax, payroll tax, all the extra fees that we would have paid just to pay ourselves enough to qualify for $1 million house would have been astronomical. Our company just doesn't make that much. So it made more sense to go the other route.
Yeah. So, but with that being said, because we had to go to the bank statement route, we had to show 24 months. So if you show 12 months, your interest rate is higher. The more months that you can show, the interest rate is lower. So we, by the grace of God, had 24 months of bank statements to show. And then another downside is non-QM, you don't qualify for any assistance. So as a first-time home buyer, there are plenty of programs out there, grants that you're given, down payment assistance. You get so much free money that's out there if you can qualify FHA or conventional. Mm-hmm. But because we weren't, and because we're bank statements, that's out the window. Yeah.
So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, and so if you're brand new here, we help real estate investors and business owners secure capital in the form of 0% interest funding. We also help with hard money loans, DSCR loans, and primary. My wife here, Suzy, she is a licensed mortgage loan originator, or MLO, in California and Florida. I just work alongside as the loan assistant, just funding expert. But some of the cool things we learned, I guess, I don't know if you can do your own loan. So we hired out. But some of the things that I think came out of this process that we learned were the difference in the way you can pay your loan, borrower paid. First, so talk about that so people have an idea of what that looks like if they're a first time home buyer.
Yeah. So, FYI, the way that brokers or mortgage lenders get paid is either through the bank that they're getting this loan with, or the buyers will pay the loan officer or that broker. Okay. So if you go lender paid, meaning that MLO or that broker gets paid by the bank, your interest rate is going to be higher. The reason why it's going to be higher is because they have to inflate that interest rate so that they can pay that loan officer or that broker on the back end, right? So that's what it's called when you hear, oh, they're charging you 2.75 points on the back end. You don't see it on paper. And, the loan officer can tell you, oh, we're not charging you origination. We're not charging you anything, really, because they're being paid on this interest. Now, we were very interested in getting the lowest interest rate possible to make our monthly payments very comfortable. And so in that process, we learned that, hey, we can switch from lender paid to borrower paid. And so when you switch and go borrower paid, now they have to give you the rates that are what they call raw. Raw meaning there isn't, a pad or there isn't anything added so you can pay that loan officer. It's just what the market is right now. The interest rates are much, much better. And now you get to pay that loan officer or that broker.
Yeah.
But you're getting raw rates that are today's rates from the market that are going to be a lot better.
Yeah. So huge difference. And so if you're sitting down with a mortgage loan officer, or if you're thinking about purchasing in California or Florida or want to sit down with us, one thing that you need to ask for are the raw rates. You need a rate sheet. I need to see. Now, this is also the same if you're an investor as well, right?
Yep.
They can give you your rate sheet to show you, here are all the rates that you qualify for, and you can use those to compete with different lenders.
Yeah, so that's what we did. We had a second opinion done. So we got our first, the loan estimate, which is detailing our interest rate and all of our closing costs, right? All those things can change, but this is just kind of like where we're headed if you do agree with it. So once we got our loan estimate, we had my sister, who's also a loan officer in Florida, kind of review it. She's been in the game for about 10 years. And she goes, hey, this interest rate's kind of high. And here's why. Your lender paid, which means the loan officer is getting paid on the back end. That's why your interest rate is higher. Ask your loan officer if you guys can go borrower paid, less money, better interest rates. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We had to get a second opinion, kind of shop around.
Yeah.
And then my sister gave us her raw rates and said, hey, right now I can give you, this rate, and you don't even have to buy the point downs.
Yeah.
Right. It was like no point buying, and you're going to get money back from the lender. Like, it was such a sweeter deal than what we were getting. And so we had to go back to our loan officer and say, hey, I'm being offered these rates with, money coming back to us from the lender. Can you match this, or can you do something comparable to this? Because right now, as it is, this isn't making sense for our family.
Yeah. Now, something to keep in mind is these rate shopping and bouncing around. First of all, you want to do this as early as possible, right, in the process. We were doing this late in the game. We were coming towards the end of our escrow period. We already been in escrow. We still hadn't locked in our rate. And so the potential problem, let's say you do find a better rate from a different lender, the time that could potentially take to switch lenders, to go ahead and qualify, because the rate that they offer you to get you into the door to switch might not still be the rate after they go through the qualification process and look at your documents. So something to keep in mind, you want to be strategic and do this as early as possible, because if you try to do it later in the game, you could risk the deal falling out or the seller not wanting to wait on you if you switch lenders, because and it's happened to a lot of sellers where the buyer, there's something happened with their loan, or they had to switch lenders, and then it just extends the escrow period.
Yeah.
And you have to file an extension. And so if you really want the house and you're really interested, just make sure you do this ahead of time. That way it saves you a lot of time and a lot of stress on the back end. And so other things that we learned about this process was just escrow in general, how it works. one thing that we were really nervous about at one point was like losing our earnest money deposit. Like that was like, oh gosh. But some of the things that we learned about it, and this also depends on the state that you're in. But in California, the buyers are pretty protected. It's really hard to lose your earnest money deposit. Other states could vary, could fluctuate. But at the end of the day, the way that you can lose your earnest money deposit is if you are obstructing the deal in any way that can be proven in a court of law, right? So, for example, let's say our loan was already processed, or we already had a not pre-approval, we already had a clear to close. We're ready to go. We're just doing inspections. We're looking at things. We're negotiating credits with the seller, things like that. And for some reason, we want to file an extension to push this a little farther back. We're taking our time. We're biding our time. The seller can send us a NTP, which means a notice to perform. And by perform, they're saying perform the action of buy my house. Like, stop playing with me. And
Buy.
so if you obstruct, if you have the ability to buy the house and you don't for some reason, and it's inconveniencing the seller. I'm doing this at a high level, right? So there's way more nuances to this. But this is just in general to keep in mind. Then and only then can you potentially put your earnest money deposit at risk.
Yeah.
But for us, because our loan hadn't cleared and we had to get an extension to extend the escrow period, no NTP could be extended to us because we couldn't buy the house yet because we didn't have a clear to close.
Yeah.
So that part was that part was interesting. It was an interesting experience at Home Express. They take a long time to process stuff, and it's just I don't know, it wasn't the best experience. Not a big fan of Home Express. I'll just be honest, but it does show the importance of having a really good, savvy loan officer that's going to fight for you to get you the best rates.
Yeah.
That has access to the most products. You want to make sure that if you are getting your mortgage loan done at like a bank or maybe an independent lender, they can be a little bit they can have less options than maybe a broker, a mortgage broker. They can shop around and get different rates.
Yeah.
And so we were grateful that we did our mortgage loan originator was a broker, so we could do that type of switch versus if she was, or he or she, if they were with a particular bank or independent
Like if
lender,
it was Chase,
there would have been no move.
no, there's no negotiating.
Exactly.
Like
So
if you're a broker, you have that option to shop around 50 different lenders and then obviously pick the best lender. But I'm pretty happy with how it all turned out.
Yeah, for sure.
So to give context, we wanted to buy our rate to a certain point. So when we were lender paid, right, like the loan officer was getting paid on the back end, our interest rate was higher. And so we wanted to bring it down. To bring it down to the comfortable medium that we wanted, it was going to cost us $15,000, right? And so that's when I called my sister and she was like, absolutely not. Right now, if you switch to borrower paid, that same rate right now, I can get it with no money. You don't have to buy it down. Like that's literally the rate that you're given. Mm-hmm. And you're getting $3,000 back from the lender for that rate. Yeah. And so what we essentially got was, we went borrower paid. So we were paying the loan officer ourselves, right? We got the rate that we wanted. We did not have to pay for that rate. And we got $4,400 back from the lender. Yeah. However, if we wouldn't have put up that fight, we probably would never have gotten that.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you think and you expect, like your loan officer, your broker to kind of like do that job for you. But sometimes you have to do that.
Well, here's the thing. The unique part about the situation for us is that you are a MLO. Now, we've dabbled in real estate, but now we're officially jumping in full in, which we're excited to serve a lot of people, help make their dreams come true and get the properties that they're looking for or build their portfolio. But because of that, we had access to stuff that most people didn't, right? You're an MLO, you can look at rates. Your sister's an MLO, look at rates. Most first-time home buyers have no idea how the process goes. But if there is a piece of advice I can give you, is making sure when you are looking for pre-approval and you're going to go home shopping, is scrutin as specific as you are And as much as you scrutinize over the home that you're looking for, you should also scrutinize over your realtor and your MLO to make sure that they are fitting the needs you're looking for, right? Number one. Number two, there are a lot of MLOs that work at banks, independent lenders, but I would prioritize the one that's a mortgage broker. That way there is a little bit more flexibility there. You don't have to know the system inside out, but you can shop around. You can go to another MLO and go, hey, I have this MLO right here. Because you could just say you can switch realtors, you can switch MLOs too, right? Unless you sign a contract saying like, hey, I'm going to work with you. You can get out of that contract and go work with someone else. And so you aren't stuck. You do have the ability to go and get a second opinion, just like you can at the doctor's office or change doctors. You do have a lot of authority and you have a lot of leeway in the decision-making process when it comes to your home buying process. So that's something I would say, be proactive. And so for us, we were able to be a little bit more crafty and proactive because we can take a glimpse behind the scenes on rates and interest rates. And our interest rate is 6.3.
6.375. And for context, we were given like a 7.50, which was not what we wanted. It was super high, but that was because, again, that was lender paid and it was a little padded to pay the loan officer from there.
Yeah, exactly. So those are some of the things that we've learned. Eventually, we were able to get our clear to close. We got everything to underwriting team. And it was great. We really love our place. We're really excited about it. Like I mentioned, we are around the corner from Disneyland in Southern California, in a great neighborhood that's really quiet. And our place came completely renovated, so we didn't have to put any work into it, which is great.
Yep.
And we're super excited. And so those are some of like the major things that we learned from the process, especially closing out. And honestly, just how picky lenders can be with the underwriting process and how they want the process to go. But I know our process was unique because we did bank statement loans. But if you recently bought a property or if you bought a property in Southern California, I'd love to know your experience. Put it in the chat. Where did you buy? What was the process like? I would love to hear, what the story was like with your MLO and or your real estate agent. But for us, it was a great learning experience. And I think it really, was a catalyst for us getting into diving into the weeds. And since then, we've been able to help a ton of real estate investors, and we're excited about working with first-time home buyers or second-time home buyers, whatever the case may be, knowing what's really, really important about the process. So anything I missed or anything from the experience that you wanted to highlight or?
Clear to close. I think that's something that I want to talk about a little bit, but on a high level. So the way that lenders kind of give that final go ahead before they can say, hey, you're approved, they have to give you a letter. It's called clear to close. So once they've reviewed all the documents, once they've gone over everything, they give they give the lender a letter says clear to close. Now, once that clear to close letter is, given, literally closing can happen in a day or two, if not sooner. So, basically all we were waiting for that 2-3 weeks of underwriting was that letter clear the close. And for us, it happened literally last minute.
Yeah. The same day our extension ended.
So it was super tight timeline, but y'all willing, it happened the way it did.
Yeah. Then we went to Escrow, signed all the documents, and then we just had to wait for the wire to come through to Escrow. They released all the funds. We got our keys, and boom, it's our house. Bob's your uncle.
It's our house.
So
we haven't moved in there yet. We're still kind of moving.
Yeah.
From our old home. We'll be officially there come January 1st, which is
2026. Yep.
Which is a
couple weeks away from the time of this recording.
Yeah. That's a crazy way to start the year.
I know. So yeah. No, it's really, really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited about the area and everything, and we're looking forward to it. And so if you're local, you're a neighbor, hit us up. But outside of that, we're super excited, and hopefully some of the things that we've learned in this process really benefit you guys. And if you're a real estate investor, you're looking for ways to secure capital for your investment properties and rental properties, hit us up, shoot us an email at info@wholesomeleninggroup.com or go to our website, or if you are a first-time home buyer or a home buyer, period, in Southern California or California in general, or the Florida market, shoot us an email as well, and we'd love to give you a soft pre-approval, let you know what you qualify for, walk you through the process, and help you secure the home that you're looking for or the next property in your portfolio. With that said, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.